Investment banker Peter Solomon believes not enough attention is being paid to fiduciary responsibility, which is a hot topic of discussion within the private wealth management industry. Solomon gave us some words of wisdom on the topic based on his 5-decade-long Wall Street career.
The issue is there is legislation. There is a huge body of law on what fiduciary responsibility is. But in the day-to-day execution of fiduciary responsibility, it's not, I don't think it's in the forefront of people. We try to keep it in this firm. We try to remember every day who the client is and who we are. But we have very little ambiguity. We have a client, and we don't invest vis-a-vis that client. We don't short the stocks of that client. We're not selling product to that client. We're advising a client. So we have no ambiguity. What's happened is complexity. What's happened is distance. What's happened is lack of supervision. What has happened is lack of inculcation of the term of fiduciary, the term and the meaning of the term of fiduciary responsibility. And I think everybody would agree with that.
There was a lot made in the post-Bernie Madoff world about people being responsible for their clients and doing due diligence and a lot of hand-wringing on how this happened. Why isn't it now more on the forefront?
Well, this whole issue is so interesting that you're raising. Take the issue of rating agencies, in which there was a great discussion recently at the Roosevelt Institute. And people said everybody relied on rating agencies. Well, rating agencies were just, became a crutch. Why would a major financial institution not do 100% of its own analysis? Now, a person can't do that. An individual retail customer may have to rely on a rating agency. But why possibly does an investment fund of a state, Colorado, Massachusetts, New York, who cares where it is, or a major pension fund, why would they possibly rely on a third person's endorsement when they are investing huge amounts of money? They are the fiduciary. Why don't they have the capacity internally to do that analysis? So in their case, for example, what did they do? They hived off the fiduciary responsibility to Moody's and Standard & Poor's, and now they're blaming them. Well, go blame yourself.
Right now in Washington, as you know, there is financial reform coming. We don't know exactly in what shape or form. How, if at all, should this issue be addressed in whatever is finally approved by Congress?
I don't think that it needs legislation. If Congress wants to write something that says everybody has fiduciary responsibility, I think the courts have written that large. There are cases day in, day out on the issue of fiduciary responsibility, and it's defined and it's reiterated, and it's sometimes it's a question of where it ends and where it starts. But there's the issue of fiduciary responsibility is there. It's like the issue of integrity. You don't tell people they need integrity. They're supposed to have integrity, and you can't legislate integrity, but the courts have defined issues like that, what constitutes breach of fiduciary responsibility or obviously integrity in terms of criminal behavior or something, or civil behavior. I don't think Congress needs to legislate that. The issues in front of Congress dealing with financial structure are very complex, and they're not partisan. They may come out as partisan, but they may come out as ideological, but they are equally difficult, and they shouldn't be characterized. Everybody rants against Washington, correctly, incidentally, but there are issues that are difficult to discuss, difficult to make the right decision on. The issue of the chief regulator, where should the chief regulator reside, is a good issue. If it's in the Fed, will it compromise monetary policy? If it's in the Fed, which has got the best cadre of regulators, if they were the best cadre, why didn't they regulate better before? The Consumer Protection Agency. I think there is a need for a Consumer Protection Agency. I just don't know how to deal with the issues of safety and soundness in terms of that. I think the illustration I gave you earlier about consumer protection illustrates that there's a problem. If I have the problem in consumer protection. Just think of the person who's not in finance. Where should it be housed? What should be the what are the restraints on unfettered? Will it end up causing less credit because everybody will recoil from the regulation and say, sorry, we won't extend credit? I think it's unlikely, incidentally, that there'll be less credit. But these are difficult issues. And I think those are the issues that Congress should deal with. The issues that they should be able to deal with simply is they don't have to deal with integrity and fiduciary responsibility. There's enough body of law, common and learned, that you don't have to deal with that.
Our thanks to Peter Solomon, who's founder and chairman of Peter J. Solomon Company. This is Reuters.